It is here. So my Oxford Brookes University's graduation certificate has just arrived in the mail yesterday, and I thought that I would share with you all my OBU experiences, which is exactly what I'm gonna do in this video. So hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this is Pravisha and I am an ACCA professional level student and now an Oxford Brookes University graduate. So just a disclaimer that this is not a scripted video, so I have just wrote down a few points that I thought is relevant and I want to share with you guys. So let's go ahead. So let's start with what exactly is this OBU degree. So this is a collaboration between ACCA and Oxford Brookes University UK, which allows ACCA students to gain their degree alongside their ACCA qualifications. Now, for those of you who do not know that ACCA is not a degree, it is just a professional qualification. If you ask me what exactly the difference is, I would say that professional qualification focuses more on the practical skills like real world skill, which is also why we have to do the 3 years PER, whereas degree is more of inclined to academic knowledge. That's what I would say. Now many of these people who are watching this video, maybe you have already done BCom alongside ACCA, or maybe you have joined ACCA after BCom. So I don't think that this degree is for those people, but for someone who joined ACCA after 12th and who did not join a graduation course, I think this is a perfect opportunity for them to get a degree, that too UK recognized and globally recognized UK degree. Okay, so if you ask me that why did I choose to do this degree, then I would have two reasons. Okay, first, so when I was doing my research of whether or not to study ACCA, I already knew of this degree and already knew that I would be doing this degree. So I never joined a BCom or a BBA college, so I don't have graduation from any other universities. Now, what my thought process was that, and many of you may or may not agree to it, but my thought process was, instead of going to a local university and then spending 3 to 4 years of my life for a graduation degree from a local university, will not give me so much value. So what I thought was, instead, if I get this degree, I will not only be saving a lot of amount, like a lot of time, but also I will be gaining a graduation certificate from a UK based university. And I think this degree is gonna be more credible than the one that I would get from my local university. So this is what my thought process was when I chose not to do a regular BCom and then I chose to do this. Okay. So not every student who is an ACCA student can gain this degree, because they have an eligibility criteria. Number one, you should have passed your knowledge level and your skills level paper of ACCA. Now here's the twist: you should have taken and passed F7, that is financial reporting, F8, that is audit and assurance, and F9, that is financial management paper. If you have taken exemptions in any of these three papers, then you will not be eligible for this degree. Number two is, you should have given your ethics professional skills module. This is usually done after skills. So these are the only two criterias that you should have met. About the number of submissions, we have two period of submissions in 1 year, that is in May and then one is in November. So I submitted my thesis in May 2024 attempt and I got my results after 3 months, that is in September. To sum it up, you are gonna finish your knowledge level, skill level, your ethics, and then you're gonna find a registered mentor and work with him or her to write a 10,000 word of research analysis project. You're gonna submit it in the period of submission, and then if you pass, you are gonna gain a Bachelor's of Science in Applied Accounting from Oxford Brookes University UK. This is what your journey is gonna look like. Step one for me was finding a good mentor. So for this, what I did, I reached out to different teachers who were offering their OBU services. I inquired them about their pass percentages, availability of timing, and mainly the prices. And believe me or not, like, some mentors were asking for fees which is even higher than the OBU fees, which is very unreasonable to me. So yeah, after finally doing my side of the research, I went with Mr. Abdul Basit. So he's a teacher from Pakistan. He's also teaching, I think, SBL and then other papers in Mijal and some of accountancy. So it was kind of, because I've already been their students, it was kind of easier for me to connect with him. And also what I liked about their course is it was divided into parts. Like thesis is a 7,500 words, so it like it's a huge thing. But what he did was he divided the thesis into parts. I would have to watch some lectures, I would have to do my research, have to do my own work. I would then submit it to him, because and as a mentor he did his review, he sent the reviewed file back to me, and then I made the changes that he required, and then I moved into step 2, and likewise. So when doing a work in tits and bits, it doesn't look like much. Also, he really mentored me, if you know what I mean, like from the very beginning, like even before I enrolled in his course, from helping me to the very end, and even after, like until I received my certificate, he was really helpful. So I would like to even like take this opportunity to really thank Mr. Abdul Basit. If you are interested in taking his mentorship, then I will just I think I will link his LinkedIn down below, and you can always reach out to him. Okay, so step 2 was deciding which topic I wanted to do my thesis in, which industry and which companies. So I think there are around 20 topics that you can choose from. I chose topic 5, and this is the most common one, which is analyze and evaluate business and financial performance of I think of a company which performed exceptionally well for over a period of 3 years. So you also have to justify why you chose a topic in your thesis. For me, it was because mainly the data was available, and also it's because because I was working as an accountant. It also kind of helped with my current job. So this was the reason for me. Now number 2 is I had to decide which industry that I had to do it, and it had to justify the topic, because I had to choose such industry which was actually performing well. So most common ones were airlines industry, and then the other one was also car manufacturing industry. There were a lot of students who were choosing those. For me, I wanted to do something different, so I chose beverage industry, because those were not something people were doing. So my topic was done, which is topic 5. I chose beverage industry, and we all know like who is the main market player of the beverage industry. Of course, it's the Coca-Cola company. And just not you have to have a basis for choosing the company. I mean, what company I choose has to match with the topic. So for that, what I did was, because Coke is of course a public company, I brought their financial data in, I input them in an Excel. I did my calculations, the increase percentage of revenue, and then GP, NP. I did it all, and after that, it actually was performing exceptionally well for 3 years. I mean, its net profit was increasing, its GP was increasing year on year, revenue was increasing. So it made sense to choose this. So when you choose a company, you also have to choose a competitor to which you can compare it. So obviously Coca-Cola's company, I chose PepsiCo company. So the Coca-Cola company was the main company that I was evaluating, and for a comparison basis, I was using PepsiCo. Step 3 was actually writing the thesis. So my thesis, like we have 4 documents that we needed to submit. One was the main thesis, like RAP. Okay, another one was known as SLS, which is skills and learning statement. This is basically a document where you write that what did you learn by writing your thesis. Okay. Other is an Excel, where you have to submit your data that you've used, your financial data, and the graphs that you've made. Lastly, there was references, like whatever reference you provide in your thesis. And these were the 4 documents that I had to provide. Now, like my thesis, which is my main RAP, it had to be around 7,500 words. So it was divided, like I said in the beginning, it was divided into 3 parts. So part 1 was where I had to explain that why I chose this topic, and then I had to explain about the industry that I chose. I had to bring in the data about the beverage industry, and I had to write it down. Another thing was I had to write about the Coca-Cola company and the PepsiCo company, and also like I had to justify, like in that part, I had to justify why the company I chose justifies the topic I chose. So that was all about part 1. This was comparatively easy. There wasn't any much difficulty. Also, one more thing is, because you are getting the data like about the company, and whatever data you are getting from the internet, it has to be referenced. And they like OBU follows a Harvard style referencing, so everything I took from the internet and I rephrased it, or some ways I used the internet's data, I had to reference it, and side by side I was also keeping it in that reference file. So this was all about part one. I really didn't face much difficulties in this. So part two was, again, this was mostly theoretical. Okay, part two I had to write down the definition of all the ratios I was going to use in part 3, like which we have learned in our F7 paper, which is again profitability ratios, liquidity ratios, gearing ratios. And this was, I had to write like what was that. It was theory. Again, I had to choose two models which I would use in the company, business models, because I also had to analyze the business performance. So for this I chose two models, which is SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity and threat, and then pestle analysis, which you have learned. I learned this in my class 12 also, but I think this was also introduced in our first paper, which is business and technology. So this is, again, this was all theory, and I couldn't make my own definition up. So again, I had to go looking at the internet, that which is the best definition. And I didn't copy paste it, because you're not allowed to do that, but you just have to rephrase it, and you have to use your own words. Like for example, what I understand by GP is there's a particular definition, but also I will write something that is in my own words. So part 3 was kind of the most difficult one for me. I had to do horizontal analysis, ratio analysis, and then business performance analysis by using two models. Now this is something we've already done, like ratio analysis is something we've already done in F7 paper, so it shouldn't have been much difficult for me. But here was the reason was actually finding the reason. So for this I had to do a lot of research, and this is where it takes more time. Lastly, I forgot to say that we also have to submit, with the skills and learning statement, we also have to submit a PPT. So after I was done with part 3, so after each part I sent it to my mentor. He got back to me, I made the changes, and I then moved forward. So after my thesis was done and finalized by my mentor, I worked on my skills and learning statement. Now this is something very personal about the things you faced writing the thesis, how you overcame it, or how do you think that this thesis, whatever things you gained, how will you use it in your career. So this was easy, and this was very personal. Okay, now the next thing is you also have to, this is something I forgot to tell you guys, but you also have to present a PowerPoint PowerPoint presentation. You have to make it, and this is basically the summary of your thesis. Like whatever the data is there, you will just take it, you will minimize the number of words, and then you will make a PPT out of it. So this is all the thing, and this is how my journey my journey went. Talking about the cost, so I submitted my thesis on period 48, and each period has different fees. So my fees was £495. Apart from that, I had to pay the mentor, which was roughly around £195, so total 690. But I also chose to buy some subscriptions which helped me in the research. So roughly, and that was a very low amount, so total cost I would say is £700. This may seem like a lot, but now here's the question, like, is this really worth it? The degree, the cost, the time you spend. So for me, 100% yes. Now if you ask me, like I already said in the beginning of the video, that if you do not have a degree from elsewhere, then this is the perfect thing, and every penny and every time you spend on this is going to be worth it. Now if you already have a degree, I would suggest you, like, you do not need to go for it, but it's your choice after all. So this, I think this program is ending by 2026. So if you want to, you will have to do that before I think May 2026. It's ending on that. So after that, you will not be able to do this anymore. So if you're thinking of doing it, then this is your clue. Just go for it. So talking about the time, OBU recommends you to spend around 5 to 6 months writing your thesis. But for me, I was working, I was in the middle of moving here to the Middle East, so that was not possible. So I could only give 2 hours per day, and I think it took me roughly about 2 months. I spent an actual 2 months on the thesis, and this is not something I would recommend, because it takes a lot more time. Like if you want to do your research properly, and then because there's a communication back and forth between your mentor, so I would recommend at least spend 4 to 5 months on your research paper. Now this is what the certificate looks like. First they send you the results online, and then they send you this copy via parcel. So this is what it looks like. I got first class honors. So what they do is they will take an average of your skill papers marks. They will take the thesis marks that you got, and based on the that they will give you the class of honors. For me it's first class honors. So if you want to calculate it, just calculate the your average marks and skills, and there's a table given in the OBU website. Just check that out to see what class of honors can you expect in the degree. So talking about the graduation program, I thought they would invite me to London, but unfortunately that's not the case. Because I'm here in the Middle East, they have invited me to the Dubai graduation ceremony in April 2025. That there's still a lot of time to go. So hopefully I'll be able to go and then film and then also put it out here on my YouTube channel for so that every one of you can experience what I experienced. So yeah, this is everything that came to my mind. This is what my OBO journey, how I started, how I did it, how it's been going, everything I have mentioned. But if I forgot anything, please feel free to write it down in the comments below. I will just reply to you, or if it's a vast topic, I will just make another video on it. Apart from that, if you have any other questions, just drop it down and I will try as much as possible to help you. So I hope this video helps you. Thank you. Like, share and subscribe.